Hello students, let us see chapter 5, Introduction to Euclid's Geometry. Euclid's Geometry. Euclid was a mathematician and he tried to explain the various concepts of geometry. Okay, when we say Euclid's geometry, there are three parts. One is two-dimensional geometry, solid geometry, etc. Okay, so up to 9th and 10th, when we say Euclid's geometry, we are related to two-dimensional plane figures. Okay, that is rectangles, squares, parallelograms, etc. we have to study. Now what he did, he tried to explain the terms, define the terms in geometry. Okay, we use in geometry, we use the word point, we use the word line, but there were no specific definition. He tried to explain some of the definitions. Some definitions were put forth by him. Let us see some of the definitions given in our NCERT textbook. Okay, let us see first. A point is that which has no part. So how we will explain the point? A point which has no part. So we can explain its physical existence just by showing a tip of the pencil, or see here by making a dot on the board. Okay, so I can call this as a point A. Okay, second, a line is breadthless length. What is line? Line is breadthless length. It is line. When we say line is having two arrows. What is the meaning of arrows? It is extending in both the directions infinitely. Okay, so line is a breadthless length. It doesn't have any breadth. Third, the ends of a line are points. Ends. Just now I said line is infinite. Now I am saying, as per third definition, the ends of a line are points. So ends of a line are points. Fourth definition, a straight line is a line which lies evenly with the points on itself. This is a little bit difficult to understand. Try to imagine. A straight line is a line which lies evenly with the points on itself. What is the meaning? When we consider a line is made up of infinite number of points, and all the points are on that line only. Okay, it is not above the line or below the line. All points are on the line. Then it is called a straight line. If the points are above and below, it can't be a straight line. You try to imagine. Little bit difficult to understand. Okay. Fifth, a surface is that which has length and breadth only. Surface which has, you can consider this green board as a surface. It is having length and breadth. Okay, we have to consider the definition. Surface is one which is having length and breadth. Some of you may ask question, green board is having some thickness. We have to neglect here as per the definition, surface. So where we are writing, that is a surface and it is having only length and breadth. Sixth definition, the edges of surface are lines. You can consider. So this is edges, this is the edge. Okay, so edges of a surface are line. I will show you by taking a scale. So this is a surface, and if you consider this edge, this is the edge. Edge is a line. This edge is also a line. So edges of surface are lines. And again, seventh one is again a little bit difficult for you to understand. Like fourth one. A plane surface is a surface which lies evenly with the straight lines on itself. Okay, try to imagine you take a notebook. A top of a notebook is your plane surface, and you put some round pencils on it. So all pencils are in contact with the surface. So that pencils you consider as a line. A plane surface is a surface which lies evenly with the straight lines on itself. Again, this definition is little bit difficult to imagine. Okay, what I tried to explain you. You can imagine in your way. You can give examples. You can give a physical example, what I have given, and you can take some other examples also and try to imagine. Hope I have explained this 7 definitions and hope that you have understood it. of course, fourth and seventh are little bit difficult to understand. Let us see now what do you mean by axioms and postulates. Okay, axioms and postulates are the statements or assumptions which are accepted as a true statement universally. Okay, now then why these two words are there, axioms and postulates, that we will see. Okay, axioms are used throughout the mathematics, while postulates are limited to geometry. Both are the true statement. I am reading from board. Axioms or postulates are the assumptions which are obvious universal truths. They are not to be proved. Okay, they are not to be proved. So postulates are related to geometry, while axioms are used throughout the mathematics, you can say. There are some of Euclid's axioms. I will explain you one by one. First, things which are equal to the same thing are equal to one another. Try to understand this first axiom. Things which are equal to the same thing are equal to one another. I will give you example. If x is equal to a and y is equal to a, then what is the relation between x and y? You can say x is equal to y. Okay, this is first axiom. Okay, so I have tried to explain. Let us see second. If equals are added to equals, the wholes are equal. Okay, let us see what is the meaning of this. If angle ABC is equal to angle PQR, okay, then angle ABC plus angle XYZ is also equal to angle PQR plus angle XYZ. Okay, this is the meaning of second. If equals are added to equals, the wholes are equal. So ABC is equal to PQR. Then if you are adding XYZ on both the sides, then angle ABC plus XYZ is equal to angle PQR plus XYZ. So wholes are equal. I will try to explain by giving one more example. Okay, let us see second axiom again. Another way of explaining. Okay, if P is equal to Q and X is equal to Y, okay, then P plus X is also equal to Q plus Y. Okay, this is the second way of explaining second axiom. If equals are added to equals, the wholes are equal. Hope you have understood this. Let us see now third axiom. Okay. So, if equals are subtracted from equals, the remainders are equal. Okay. If angle ABC is equal to angle PQR, okay, and then if you are subtracting ABC minus angle XYZ will be equal to, you are subtracting XYZ from both the sides, PQR minus angle XYZ. So when you subtract XYZ from ABC, that is a remainder, जो बचता है वो. So ABC is equal to PQR. अगर आप दोनों में से ABC में से और PQR में से XYZ माइनस कर रहे हो, तो जो आंसर जो बाकी बचेगा, that is called remainder, and both the remainders will be equal. If equals are subtracted from equals, the remainders are equal. Let us see. Try to see fourth axiom. Okay, what is this? Things which coincide with one another are equal to one another. Okay, things which coincide with one another are equal to one another. So here we can give example of two triangles. Okay, if two triangles are congruent, then they are coinciding. Okay, then another way, if two triangles are congruent, you try to draw it on a cardboard and cut out, and they are congruent for some one-to-one correspondence. So you place exact the corresponding vertices on one another, then you will realize that both triangles are fitting into one another properly. So this is what we can explain. Things which coincide with one another are equal to one another. You can take any other example, you can imagine any other example also. Let us see the fifth one. The whole is greater than the part. Okay, whole. Let us take example. 15 we can write as 8 plus 7. Okay, and here 15 is greater than it, and 15 is also greater than 7. So 15 is 8 plus 7. So 15 is a whole, and 8 and 7 are the parts. So the whole is greater than the part. You can take another example. You can take example of the area of our country India and any of the Indian state. So area of our country will be definitely greater than the area of any particular Indian state. So India as a whole and the states as a part. Okay, let us see sixth one. Things which are double of the same things are equal to one another. See, if x is equal to 2 times a, okay, if x is equal to 2 times a and y is 2 times a, then what is the relation between x and y? Then x is equal to y. Things which are double of the same things are equal to one another. This way you can explain. Same way, seventh one. Things which are halves of the same things are equal to one another. Let us take example. I will try to explain this. If x is half of p, okay, and y is half of p, then what is the relation between x and y? X is equal to y. So things which are halves means halves is a plural of half. Okay, things which are halves of the same things are equal to one another. Hope you have understood these axioms. I have tried to explain using giving some examples. Hope you have understood this. Let us see Euclid's 5 postulates. What are postulates? Postulates are the true statements accepted universally, but they need not to be proved. So I have written 4 on the board. Okay, let us see first. I will try to explain. A straight line may be drawn from any one point to any other point. Okay, what is the meaning? See, I will draw here some points. Okay, point A, point B, point C, point P, point Q. A straight line may be drawn from any one point to any other point. I can draw a straight line. I can join these 2 points. So I am getting a line segment, or a straight line you can say. I can join A to B to C. I can join C to P. I can join C to Q, Q to P, and so on. So a straight line may be drawn from any one point to any other point. So what it tells? It tells that there is at least one point, one line passing through 2 distinct points. Okay, this statement tells there is at least कम से कम एक, at least there is at least one line passing through two distinct points. But it doesn't tell us that there cannot be more than one line passing through two distinct points. Okay, ऐसा मीनिंग होता है क्या नहीं वो आपको देखना है. लेकिन जब यूक्लिड काम कर रहे थे और उनकी बुक्स में वो बार बार एक ही जिक्र करते थे दैट वन एंड ओनली वन लाइन पासेस थ्रू टू डिस्टिंक्ट पॉइंट्स. ओके, तो इससे जाहिर होता है कि टू डिस्टिंक्ट पॉइंट्स में दो अलग डिस्टिंक्ट मतलब अलग अलग दो अलग अलग पॉइंट में से सिर्फ एक ही लाइन पास हो सकती है. एंड दिस इज पुट अप एज अ रिजल्ट एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड एक्सियम 5.1. सो गिवन टू डिस्टिंक्ट पॉइंट्स there is a unique line that passes from them. Well, now I will try to explain this. Okay, given two distinct points, अगर दो अलग अलग points, say point P, say point Q, so point P में से कितनी लाइन जा सकती है? तो आपने लोअर क्लास में पढ़ा है, through a point infinite lines can pass. Okay, through a point infinite lines can pass. Okay, so अगर P और Q को अलग अलग पॉइंट पकड़े तो एक पॉइंट में से कितनी लाइंस जाती है? तो इनफाइनाइट पॉइंट्स लाइंस कैन पास. लेकिन आप P एक लाइन ऐसी ढूंढो जो P और Q में से जाएगी, तो कितने होगी? एक लाइन या ट्राई टू पास. सो वी विल सी. So you can see here one and only one line passes through two distinct points. So जो फर्स्ट postulate है उसमें से एक रिजल्ट मिल रहा है. Given two distinct points there is a unique line. Unique means one and only one line that passes from them. Hope you have understood the first postulate and the result from which we are getting from first postulate, and we have put it in the form of axiom. It is given in our textbook. Let us see second postulate. A terminated line can be produced indefinitely. Terminated line. What is the meaning terminated? ये line है, से line PQ. Okay. Terminated मतलब जिसके end है. So it can be produced indefinitely. अगर इस तरह के produce करेंगे, okay. So it can be produced indefinitely. Okay, terminated line can be produced indefinitely in both the directions. Okay, this is second postulate. Okay, this is what second postulate. Let us see now third one. A circle can be drawn with any center and any radius. आप कोई भी center, आप ये center पकड़ सकते हो. ये point P as a center. You draw a circle with any radius. Okay, you can use the compass. ओके, कंपास मतलब जो इसको आप राउंडर बोलते हो, द करेक्ट वर्ड इज कंपास. ओके, सो ड्रॉ अ सर्कल विद एनी रेडियस. यस, सो अ सर्कल कैन बी ड्रॉन विद एनी पॉइंट एंड एनी रेडियस. ओके, लेट अस सी fourth postulate. All right angles are equal to one another. All right angles are equal to one another. This is the meaning of. Okay, no need to explain fourth. So these are the four postulates I have explained. One more is there. I will explain you fifth postulate. Hope you have understood this four postulates. Okay. I will try to explain fifth postulate of Euclid. What is this fifth postulate? See, if a straight line falling on two straight lines, okay, if a straight line falling on two straight lines, so I will draw here this way. I will try to explain you. This is one straight line, okay, and this is another straight line. I will call it as L and M. A straight line falling on two straight lines. Okay. So line N is falling on L and M. Makes the interior angles on the same side, if taken together, less than the two right angle makes the interior angles on the same side of it taken together less than the two right angles. मतलब ये इंटीरियर एंगल है, ये इंटीरियर एंगल है, ये दोनों की टोटल अगर टू राइट एंगल से कम है, टू राइट एंगल का मतलब 180 डिग्री से कम है, then the two straight lines if produced indefinitely meet on that side on which the sum of angles is less than the two right angles. अगर ये दोनों की टोटल लेस देन द टू राइट एंगल्स मतलब 180 से कम है, तो उसी साइड अगर ये दो लाइन अगर बढ़ाएंगे तो देयर लाइंस आर गोइंग टू मीट. यू कैन सी इफ आई विल एक्सटेंड दिस, ओके, देन दे आर गोइंग टू मीट समवेयर. समझ में है? दे आर यहाँ मिलने वाले हैं लाइंस. समझ गए? ओके. इसी का दूसरा पार्ट जो यहाँ नहीं लिखा है वो मैं बता रहा हूँ. अगर आप इस साइड इंटीरियर एंगल्स के टोटल अगर 180 से कम है और वो साइड अगर लाइंस उस साइड अगर लाइंस को बढ़ाएंगे दे आर गोइंग टू मीट एट वन पॉइंट, तो उसके अपोजिट क्या होगा? अगर हम इसकी बात करेंगे, ओके, अगर ये दो एंगल्स इंटीरियर एंगल्स उसकी टोटल अगर 180 से ज़्यादा है तो वो कभी मिलने वाले नहीं है. अगर इस तरह से आप एक्सटेंड करोगे तो वो बढ़ते जाएंगे, एक दूसरे से दूर जाते, लाइंस विल बी गोइंग अपार्ट फ्रॉम ईच अदर, अवे फ्रॉम ईच अदर, एंड दे विल नेवर मीट. वो लाइंस कभी मिलने वाली नहीं है. दिस पार्ट इज नॉट गिवन इन दिस. दिस इज व्हाट फिफ्थ पोस्टुलेट. होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड द फिफ्थ पोस्टुलेट. ओके. There is one discussion in the textbook after the postulates and axioms. I have put it in the form of a question. The discussion is like that. The system of axioms should be consistent. What is the meaning? So I have framed a question. What do you mean by a system of axioms is consistent? Answer. If it is impossible to deduce from the known axioms a statement that contradicts any axiom or previously proved statement. Okay. You try to understand this. Okay. इसका मीनिंग मैं समझाता हूँ, कोशिश करता हूँ समझाने की. If it is impossible to deduce from the known axioms a statement that contradicts any axiom or previously proved स्टेटमेंट. अगर एक एक्सियम है उसमें से अगर कोई दूसरा नया स्टेटमेंट मिल रहा है और वो जो जितने नॉन स्टेटमेंट्स है एक्सियम्स है उसको उसके अपोजिट है, कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी है, देन दे आर नॉट कॉल्ड, देन दैट टाइप ऑफ ऑल एक्सियम्स टुगेदर सिस्टम ऑफ एक्सियम्स इज नॉट अ कंसिस्टेंट. ओके. एक स्टेटमेंट में से अगर कुछ नया स्टेटमेंट मिल रहा है जो नॉन स्टेटमेंट्स को अपोज कर रहा है, अपोजिट है, then all that axioms are not consistent. So again, if it is impossible to deduce, अगर possible ही नहीं है, नहीं मिल रहा है, then it is called as a consistent. System of axioms is consistent. If it is impossible to deduce from the known axioms a statement that contradicts any axiom or previously proved statement. Let us see. अभी हम आगे ज्योमेट्री में हम थ्योरम्स एंड प्रपोजिशंस वन एंड द सेम. थ्योरम्स आर स्टेटमेंट्स which are proved using definitions, axioms, previously proved statements and deductive reasoning. Okay, so this is what about theorems. Okay, theorems are statements which are proved, जो हम प्रूव करना है. सन राइजेस इन द ईस्ट, उसकी जरूरत नहीं है प्रूव करने की. Theorems are statements which are proved using definitions, known definitions, axioms और previously proved statement. कोई statement अगर प्रूव किया है तो उसका भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं कोई नया थ्योरम, नया स्टेटमेंट प्रूव करने के लिए. ऐसे स्टेटमेंट को थ्योरम्स कहा जाता है. ओके. होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड द कंसिस्टेंसी ऑफ सिस्टम ऑफ एक्सियम्स एंड द मीनिंग ऑफ प्रपोजिशंस और theorems. Let us see now exercise 5.1. In 5.1, question number 1 I am not going to solve on the board. So question number 1 is like a true or false, and if you understood definitions, Euclid's axioms and postulates, I am sure, I guarantee you can attempt question number 1. Now let us start with question number 2. Give a definition for each of the following terms. Are there other terms that need to be defined first? What are they and how might you define them? Okay, there are 5 sub questions. Okay, I have selected 3. First one, parallel lines. How will you define? I have various ways are there. 2 lines in a plane are said to be parallel if they never meet or intersect each other and do not have any point in common. This is the definition of parallel lines. Terms to be defined. अभी इसमें क्या क्या वर्ड्स आते हैं जो आपको डिफाइन करने की ज़रूरत है? तो है पॉइंट, लाइंस और स्ट्रेट लाइंस, प्लेन जो मैंने यहाँ नहीं लिखा है, यू कैन टेक प्लेन ऑल्सो. ओके, नाउ ये जो कुछ व्हाट द टर्म्स टू बी डिफाइंड, कुछ के डेफिनेशन आपको यूक्लिड्स के डेफिनेशन में से मिल जाएंगे, कुछ आपको सोचना पड़ेगा. यू हैव टू इमेजिन उसका डेफिनेशन क्या हो सकता है, और यू हैव टू फाइंड, यू हैव टू रिफर सम बुक्स, और it will be available somewhere. Okay, but you have to work on that. So deliberately I have not written the definitions here. You can write with the help of Euclid's definition, or from any other material, whatever is possible. Now third one, line segment. The definite length between the 2 distinct points on a line is called line segment. Okay, the definite length. What is the length of this pen? The definite length between the 2 distinct points, 2 end point, this end and this is one end. That is the length, or you can say height of the pen. The definite length between the 2 distinct points lying on a line is called a line segment. Terms to be defined: definite length, points, line. अगर आपको कुछ एक्स्ट्रा मिलता है उसमें से कुछ वर्ड्स, जो आप वर्ड्स मतलब ज्योमेट्रिकल टर्म्स जिसको आपको ज़रूर है डिफाइन करने की, यू कैन राइट हियर 1 2 3, यू कैन राइट 4th one, 5th one if it is possible, and try to find out. 4th, radius of a circle. A line segment joining the center and any point on the circle is called radius of a circle. Terms to be defined: line segment, center of the circle, point and circle. These terms I found from this statement, and I feel that they need to be defined first. Now this question I have taken 3 sub questions, और उसका जो दूसरा पार्ट है, what are they, कौन से टर्म्स डिफाइन करने की ज़रूरत है पहले, एंड हाउ माइट यू डिफाइन देम, वो पार्ट मैं आपके ऊपर छोड़ रहा हूँ. ओके, how might you define them? You can take use of Euclid's definitions given in the textbook, or you can try to imagine and you can write in your own words. Definitions, actually definitions आप खुद बना नहीं सकते हो. Okay, you have to refer some books. खुद भी बना सकते हो, ऐसे कुछ नहीं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Okay, so you have to imagine this. So this way I have tried to explain question number 2. It is a theoretical one. Hope you have understood this. Let us see third question of exercise 5.1. There are 2 postulates given. Consider 2 postulates given below. Given any 2 distinct points A and B, there exists a third point C which is in between A and B. Okay, between A and B. Second statement or postulate: there exist at least 3 points that are not on the same line. That are not on the same line. Do these postulates contain any undefined terms? Are these postulates consistent? Do they follow from Euclid's postulates? Explain. So this is a theoretical sum. Sorry, question. Okay, now these postulates contain undefined terms such as point, line and in between. Okay, now are these postulates consistent? Yes, these postulates are consistent because both these statements are dealing with two different situations. Okay, what is the first situation here? Given two distinct points A and B, and there exists a third point C which is in between A and B. Okay, so दो अलग अलग पॉइंट्स, सो टू डिस्टिंक्ट पॉइंट्स हो गए, तो उसमें से क्या होता है, अकॉर्डिंग टू एक्सियम 5.1, थ्रू टू डिस्टिंक्ट पॉइंट्स वन एंड ओनली वन लाइन पासेस थ्रू द टू डिस्टिंक्ट पॉइंट. अब एक लाइन है और ए और बी के बीच में आप कहीं पर भी सी ले सकते हो. दिस इज द सिचुएशन. ओके, सेकंड सिचुएशन, देयर एग्जिस्ट एटलीस्ट 3 पॉइंट्स दैट आर not on the same line. At least 3 points that are not on the same line. What is the meaning? अगर आप 3 पॉइंट्स लेंगे ए बी सी एक लाइन के ऊपर, दो पॉइंट्स लेंगे और तीसरा पॉइंट लाइन के ऊपर लेंगे, ये ऊपर लाइन के नीचे लेंगे. सो थ्रू टू डिस्टिंक्ट पॉइंट्स ओनली वन लाइन पासेस. और यहाँ कह रहा है कंडीशन स्टेटमेंट, देयर एग्जिस्ट एटलीस्ट 3 पॉइंट्स दैट आर नॉट ऑन द सेम लाइन. सो 2 पॉइंट्स लाइन पे लेंगे, तीसरा ऊपर नीचे कहीं पर भी आप ले सकते हो. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो टॉकिंग अबाउट 2 पॉइंट्स एंड द थर्ड पॉइंट बिटवीन, दिस इज ऑल्सो टॉकिंग अबाउट 2 पॉइंट्स and the third point not on the line. Okay, but two different situation, here on the line, here it should not be on the line. So but we are talking about two distinct points. So what you can say, question पूछा है, do they follow from Euclid's postulates? Explain. No, they are not following from the Euclid's postulate, but they follow from axiom 5.1. Given two distinct point, there is only one line or unique line passes through them. Okay, so I have tried to explain this question. Hope you have understood this. Let us see fourth question. If point C lies between 2 points A and B such that AC is equal to BC, then prove AC is half of AB. Explain by drawing figure. So this is the figure. I have taken the 2 points. I have drawn a line segment. I have named time segment A and B, and exact in the middle I have taken C, and I have shown by identical marking. So AC is equal to BC. So AC is equal to BC given to you. Now what is your target? You want to prove that AC is half of BC. Okay, AC is half of BC. So now, therefore, if you add, equals are added to equals, the wholes are equal. Using that axiom, we have to prove. So AC, so I will add AC on both the sides. Okay, BC plus AC. So what we are getting here? Okay, AC plus AC means how much? 2 times AC. Okay, and you see the diagram, AC plus BC, that is what? AB. So BC plus AC, BC and AC, or AC plus BC, one and the same. So BC plus AC is the thing, but line segment AB you are getting. Now you want to prove that AC is half of AB, so take 2 this side. So this is by dividing by 2 on both the sides, we get AB. So dividing by 2, I will divide this by 2, so 2 cancels and AB upon 2. So that is nothing but AC is equal to, denominator is 2, means you can write AB upon 2 as half into AB. Okay, you can write half into AB. Hope you have understood this proof. Okay. Let us see question number 5. In question number 5 is based on question number 4 they have given. In question number 4, point C is called the midpoint of line segment AB. AC is equal to BC, meaning C is the midpoint. Prove that every line segment has one and only one midpoint. कोई भी लाइन सेगमेंट पकड़ो, चाहे वो 5 सेंटीमीटर, 10 सेंटीमीटर, 12.5, 12.7, 13.9, any line segment will be having one and only one midpoint. That we want to prove. So how? We have taken one line segment AB and we have assumed that this line segment is having two midpoints. अगर दो midpoint है, okay, हम पकड़ेंगे. Let us consider line segment AB has two midpoints. Okay, which are the two midpoints? C1 and C2. Okay, C1 and C2 respectively. Okay. So आपको क्या मिलेगा इससे? So therefore हमने क्वेश्चन नंबर ए में क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 में प्रूव किया AC is half of AB. Therefore AC1 is half of AB. Okay, you can call this result number 1. Also we get, अगर आपने C2 midpoint पकड़ा तो AC2 is also half of AB. Also AC2 is half of AB. You can call this result number 2. From result number 1 and 2, what is the right hand sides are same. Okay, so therefore AC1 is equal to AC2. Now where you are getting this? From 1 and 2. Result number 1 and 2. Okay, so what it means? Okay, AC1 is equal to AC2. What is the meaning of that? अगर AC1 5 सेंटीमीटर है तो AC2 भी 5 सेंटीमीटर है. अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस डायग्राम के हिसाब से आपको अलग दिखता है, लेकिन लॉजिकली दिस इज कॉल्ड लॉजिकली वी हैव प्रूव्ड दिस. ओके, AC1 is equal to AC2. ओके, मीनिंग C1 is equal to C2. ओके, C1 एंड C2 दो अलग अलग पॉइंट हमको दिख रहे हैं, हमने कंसिडर किए, बट वो नहीं है. सो एवरी लाइन सेगमेंट इज हैविंग वन एंड ओनली one midpoint. What is the meaning? C1 and C2 are one and the same. So this means C1 and C2 coincide. Hence every line segment has one and only one midpoint. Okay, we have proved this. Hope you have understood this. Let us see question number 6 of exercise 5.1. In the figure below, AC is equal to BD. Then prove that AB is equal to CD. Okay, so what is given? AC is equal to BD, and you have to prove AB is equal to CD. What is given here? AC. So what you can see from the diagram, B is between A and C. Okay, BD, C is between B and D. Okay, and it is given that AC is equal to BD. Okay, what is the meaning of that? AC कैसे होगा? AB plus BC is AC. Okay, and BC plus CD is BD. Then you have to prove that AB is equal to CD. Let us see. AC is equal to BD. You have to write here given. This is given. Now from the diagram what you can say? AC is AB plus BC is equal to BD is BC plus CD. Okay, so AB plus BC is equal to BC plus CD. So equals are subtracted from the equals, the remainders are equal. So you subtract BC, दोनों बाजू BC है तो BC कैंसिल हो जाएगा, या फिर आपके इक्वेशन के हिसाब से टेक BC दिस साइड. then BC, this plus BC will become minus BC, or take this BC this side, so plus BC minus BC is 0. So BC, दोनों बाजू BC है, so BC drops out. Okay, so this implies that AB is equal to CD. So which axiom we have used here? If equals are subtracted from equals, the remainders are equal. So AB plus BC में से BC माइनस कर दिया तो AB बचता है, BC plus CD में से BC माइनस किया तो CD remains. So AB and CD are remainders. Okay, so equals are subtracted from equals, the remainders are equal or same. Hope you have understood this. Question number 6. Students, I want to clear one thing. There is one theorem in our textbook, theorem 5.1, not axiom. Theorem 5.1, two distinct lines cannot intersect in more than one point. What is the meaning? अगर दो लाइन एक दूसरे को intersect कर रही है, then they will meet in one and only one point. That proof I have not taken. Okay, there are so many theorems in further lessons. That time we will see in detail. ये theorem इतनी ज़रूर नहीं है, इससे मुझे लगा इसलिए मैंने नहीं लिया है. Theorem है two distinct lines cannot intersect in more than or cannot have more than one point in common. अगर दो लाइन intersect करती है तो उनमें common point एक ही रहेगा. That is point of intersection. वो theorem मैंने नहीं explain किया है. Now let us see fifth. We will come back. Go back to fifth axiom, Euclid's axiom. Okay, sorry, fifth postulate और उसका दूसरा वर्जन है. Fifth postulate क्या है? A line falling on the two lines and its interior angle makes and there are less than two right angles. जहाँ पर दो right 180 से कम है उस side line बढ़ाएंगे तो वो line मिलती है. That I have explained. The same another language. So Playfair's axiom. He was Scottish mathematician and he explained the same postulate in a different way. For every line L and for every point P not lying on line L, there exists a unique line M passing through the P and parallel to L. What is this? Is fifth equivalent version of the Euclid's fifth postulate. I will try to explain you using diagram. Okay, suppose this is line L, okay, and there is a point P not lying on L. तो point P में से कितने lines जा सकते हैं? So your answer is infinite lines can be drawn passing through P. Okay, yes, infinite lines can be shown passing through P. लेकिन वो infinite line में से सिर्फ एक line ऐसी होगी, सिर्फ एक line जो L को parallel होगी. Okay, there will be one line passing through P and which will be parallel to L. Okay, this is the equivalent version of Euclid's fifth postulate and the diagram according to the statement I have drawn and I have explained you the diagram. Hope you have understood this fifth postulate's equivalent version. The same result is explained in a different, put up in a different words. Two distinct intersecting lines cannot be parallel to the same line. Okay, two distinct intersecting lines cannot be parallel to the same line. This is the different version, or you cannot say version, statement of the Playfair's axiom. Now you, a small homework. I have not given your diagram. Purposely I am not giving. You try to imagine the diagram, okay, and try to draw the diagram and understand the statement. Okay. Now after this we will see exercise 5.2. Let us see question 1 of exercise 5.2. First one, how would you rewrite Euclid's fifth postulate so that it would be easier to understand. So we have seen equivalent versions of Euclid's fifth postulate, one given by Playfair, that is also called as Playfair axiom, and the same axiom is stated in a different way, that is, two distinct intersecting lines cannot be parallel to the same line. Okay, this is the equivalent version. Okay, let us see second question. Does Euclid's fifth postulate imply the existence of parallel lines? Explain. ओके, यूक्लिड्स के फिफ्थ पोस्टुलेट में से हमें कुछ पैरेलल लाइंस की जानकारी मिलती है या नहीं, ऐसा मतलब होता है, मीनिंग। ओके, लेट अस सी। तो वहाँ पर क्या है, लेस देन 180 इज गिवन इन द टेक्स्ट बुक। मैंने मोर देन 180 एक साइड पे बताई, अगर एक बाजू लेस देन 180 तो दूसरी बाजू मोर देन 180 होगा, तो उस तरह लाइन कभी मिलने वाली नहीं, एक दूसरे से दूर दूर जाएंगे, और जहाँ लेस देन 180 है वहाँ पर वो मिलने वाली है। तो अगर आपने माना कि लाइन एक ही बाजू, जिसको हम ट्रांसवर्सल बोलते हैं, द लाइन फॉलोइंग ऑन द टू स्ट्रेट लाइंस, दोनों बाजू अगर 180 अगर हो रही है तो लाइंस कभी मिलने वाली नहीं है। लेट अस सी, इफ स्ट्रेट लाइन L falls on the two straight lines M and N, see the diagram, okay, M and N, and line L is falling on M and N, okay, lines M, if a straight line L falls on two straight lines M and N such that the sum of the interior angles on one side of line L is two right angles, okay, this plus this अगर 180 है, ना 180 से कम है ना 180 से ज़्यादा है, तो ये लाइन कभी मिलने वाली नहीं है, मीन्स दे विल बी पैरेलल। सेम भी हियर, अगर इस बाजू ऐसा तो एक बाजू भी रहेगा। फिफ्थ पोस्टुलेट में मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया था, एक बाजू लेस देन 180 होता है तो एक बाजू मोर देन 180। यहाँ पर एक्सेप्ट दिस प्लस दिस इज 180, देन दिस प्लस दिस विल बी 180 ओनली। सो is two right angles, then by Euclid's fifth postulate the lines will never meet on the either side of line L, okay, either side मतलब ना इस बाजू ना इस बाजू, कोई भी बाजू वो मिलने वाले नहीं है, neither on this side nor on this side, okay, yes, so this is what Euclid's fifth postulates. Does it imply the existence of parallel lines? So answer is yes. It says something about parallel lines. Okay, so on the either side of the line L, so the lines M and N will never meet and are therefore parallel to each other. Hope you have understood these two questions. We will end here our chapter Introduction to Euclid's Geometry. Hope you have understood the chapter. Thank you.